All right, big fella, let's move on to the next topic of today's podcast, and that is the BWS and Dan Murphy's. Can I get a hi?
Yeah, it's been a busy week, and this whole evolution for us in the wholesale space of Cronulla Beer Co. It's taken a while to really sort of take off, but when we initially put the feelers out there to have the opportunity to get into BWS and Dan Murphy's stores, there was quite a lot of sort of back and forth to go through to actually get us to the stage that we're dropping off product at these locations.
It's not just as easy as going to a BWS and saying, talking to the store manager and saying, can you stock the beer?
Not at all. They've probably got to speak to at least 10 people to sort of get to the right person to give you the opportunity to have you amongst their product range. So what we've found out is there's a big push amongst the Woolworths group with Dan Murphy's and BWS for their specific locations to be appearing more locally relevant with their product range, which is amazing for not just us, but many local independent craft beer companies out there. So getting the green light to go into, I think it's 26 locations of BWS and Dan Murphy's across the Sutherland Shire and St. George area. It's epic. So it's really good for us. It's been a busy week for me. So stoked that it's coincided with getting the van.
Which we'll get onto.
Which we will get onto. But dropping off beers at Dan's and BWS and having those guys reorder. We've been told to, I guess, sort of pre-warned in the early days of how difficult it can be dealing with some of these bigger guys. Yeah. But I think possibly on the back of the last 12 months that have been COVID, there really is a shift happening in how people are looking at and attempting to support small startup companies out there. And I think that it's not only in our local community of people wanting to support local and drink local homegrown products, that it's going to sort of branch out. And there's a lot of other, what we would say is established independent beer companies across the country that it's taken them years until this sort of tipping point now that they're getting into BWS and Dan Murphy's as well. So I think there's probably a number of other beer companies, startups out there that are equally as excited as we are now to have that opportunity.
You hit the nail on the head there, in terms of COVID and how much that affected everyone, and especially small local business. And, people going out and getting around their local cafes, restaurants, bars, the hairdresser, whatever business it is.
Well, that's a real thing and we speak about this a lot. That's probably one of our biggest core values with Cronulla Beer Co. is supporting local. And I guess it's becoming a bit of an overused term almost, local supporting local. Our tagline is drink local, and a lot of people may not really understand what that entirely means, but a lot of people are subconsciously supporting local every day. If you make the effort to, walk via your local coffee shop before you get on the train to go to work, like that's supporting local. You could have easily made that coffee at home. You could have had it in your place of work outside of your local community, but making that effort to go and visit those local businesses, whether they're cafes, restaurants, just takeaway shops, or, the corner grocer, hairdressers and things like that. That's, what we need to do, and what has become so much more obvious on the back of the last 12 months is people really, see the substance in doing that, is making sure that, everyone's got each other's back in this community.
Yeah.